we'll go by the
agenda. Sure. I'm also gonna share screen with the agenda, so that way the folks who are joining us by video can see the agenda, and also those who are watching it later will be able to see the agenda. Okay.
Okay. Let's go on, and like I said, we'll go by the agenda. And I do just want to thank everybody for their attendance on this meeting, the June membership meeting. And we will have Mr. Jones is on the meeting. Mr.
Yes.
Jones, would you start us off with prayer?
I will do that. Almighty God, we give you thanks for this new day. We give you thanks for the opportunity to meet together. We ask that you would be with us and guide us in our thoughts and actions as we have this meeting, and pray that we might have your blessing upon it as we think upon those things that are necessary. We pray that your guidance would enable us to do that which is necessary to bring about blessings and betterment for the people's sake. We ask that it be done in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, the secretary, the meeting of the previous minutes by the secretary. The secretary is not on the call right now, so we will save the minutes for later. Unless, Alan, do you have?
I actually might have minutes recorded from the previous meeting. Let me just check. I'll check on that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little hard for me to run the meeting at the same time, but I'll do my best.
Right.
I apologize.
Well, we'll just go on.
Madam President, would you like for me to take notes and write them up?
Oh, I
yes,
can.
Please.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll combine our notes later. Thank you.
Okay. Is the treasurer on? Is the financial report for the treasurer, is it on? Is Mr. Mangrum on the line? If not,
I don't think so.
I'll just go over. He did send me a report from last month, so we'll go on and do that.
Okay.
We've had $251.90 deposit. We had a total of $189.47 withdrawals. Our beginning balance of May the 1st, 2020 was $17,181.14. The balance as of June 1st is $17,253.57. We did write out checks to our community churches for 8 churches at $100 each, and we sent our donation to the Pueblo County Democratic Party for their fundraiser of $250. Our ending balance is $16,203.57. Okay, now we'll have reports of our officers. First Vice President Helen Wiley has been excused from this meeting. She had another engagement she had to attend to. Second Vice President Alan Lambert, do you have anything to report?
Nothing other than our items to report. I just want to welcome. Currently we have 16 participants on this virtual meeting, and this is very much appreciated. And I'll do my best to. I might not be able to have time to acknowledge all who join us from here on out, but I will make sure to reflect your participation in our minutes. Okay.
Okay. Our state conference president, Rosemary Lytle, was to join us on our meeting. Is she on the line yet? Because I do want to acknowledge her. Okay. But when she gets on, we will acknowledge her. Okay, we'll go on to, I'll save my comments for later. We'll go on with the report of committees, our communications, press and publicity and community committee.
So, I'm the ad hoc chair for that until we find a permanent chair for this committee. So, by the way, as if you as a member of the Pueblo branch would like to participate in serving on committees, we have some opportunities for that. So, for communications, press, and publicity, we've been preparing. Is it Roxana? This is related to our. Can you remind me? Forgive me. Can you remind me which one? What was the item I was supposed to report on? We talked about it before the call.
Just the NAACP statement on the issues that was published.
Right, of course. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, earlier last week, Madam President drafted a statement, and she sent it to the papers. And so many of you had saw I think in Tuesday's paper, this statement that was published. And we'll have we have a PDF. If you'd like me to email it to you, I think what I'll do is with the minutes of this meeting. And as long as I have your contact information, I will share that with you in case you're not able to find the article. But it asserts the Roxanne, would you like to discuss that to kind of bring anyone else up to speed who haven't seen that? The main ideas behind that statement?
The statement was only to let the community know where the NAACP Pueblo branch stood in reference to the issues that are going on in the community nationwide and worldwide. We wanted to let people know that we understand that there is systemic racism that we must address, and even issues here in Pueblo that we must address. And through the relationships that we have forged with our law enforcement, our politicians, we feel very positive that we can go and have a conversation that will result in any issues that we may have and changes that we may need. This is everything starts locally where you live in your community, and we just wanted our community to know that we were behind the young people and their protests and their energized actions, and that we are wanting to join with them, or we want them to join with us to move forward in a positive manner to beneficial to everyone in our community. So that was the gist of that statement.
Thank you. I was able to find the copy and display it on this call here. So again, I'll make sure that we share that with anyone interested.
Okay. The education, I happen to be the chair of the education. And as I was saying before, the time is now to reach the young people. We've been saying we have had 50 free one-year youth college memberships that the branch is wanting to give to our young people. And now is the time to reach out to them, to find them, to let them know that we want their participation. So I have been in contact with a few young people, Caitlin, forget her last name, McPherson, Mary Chavez, Jacob Topple, who is a CSUP student, and I believe Mary and Caitlin go to PCC. But we are want to reach out to our young people to get them involved with what we're doing, to let them know that we're all on the same train. We're all looking for justice, social justice, and equality for everyone. So that's very important. So we want to get that out about the free one-year memberships. Also, we had sent some questions to our District 60 superintendent. We had a conversation with one of our school board members, and we sent some questions to be addressed by the superintendent. We felt like the answers we received were kind of generic, and it was suggested by one of the executive committee members that we invite the superintendent to address us at one of our meetings, our coming meetings. And so we will be doing that exact thing. And just try to get some questions answered and see where we can help as we move forward to the fall in this pandemic time of making sure that all of our students are addressed and the marginalized communities that issues are addressed as far as education is concerned. And I think that's all I have for the education segment. Okay, the finance, the next committee is finance. Is Mr. Mangum on the line yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I will also
Well,
wanted to acknowledge that Madam President Rosemary Lytle has joined us.
Oh, great. I do want to acknowledge State Conference President Rosemary Lytle. We are so happy to have you join us at our meeting. And we want to ensure that we give you time to address our membership that's on the line. So with that, I think if she's able or wants to address us, she can do that at this time. So I've already pretty much talked about our finances and our financial report. President Rosemary Lytle.
Yes, thank you so much, Madam President. I appreciate the opportunity. I don't know if I have any video right now. Maybe I do. Hey, how are you? It's good to see you, faces of the Pueblo branch NAACP. Thank you for continuing to do the work. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you to your leaders, to your president who is ever diligent around our game changer issues, to the chair of your executive committee, to your executive committee members, to those who I consider comrades and friends in this movement who are part of this branch. I will just take a moment. I appreciate the opportunity to address you during this meeting and during this time that we're in, unprecedented time, in which we do the work of this association. I do want to say that I am thankful and grateful to those of you who lifted your voices in regard to SB 2217. We know that the Senate Bill 2217 to enhance law enforcement integrity passed out of the House on yesterday and is headed to the governor's desk for his signature. That bill does just that. It enhances law enforcement integrity, provides for policy that will govern each of our law enforcement districts, communities within Colorado. It's a strong bill because we would not accept anything else. We did not have to accept a watered down bill. We had a very strong bill that came out of the legislature that was supported by NAACP, and we're so grateful for that. We know that no fight ever stays won, and so we must be prepared to advocate in our communities for the provisions of the bill, of the legislation, as well as advocating for our existing criminal justice policies, including establishing civilian review committees within our communities. We have talked about that a lot on national office calls, and that is the order of the day from our national office. I want you to know that the work of the State Conference COVID-19 Civil Rights Subcommittee continues, and that on next Saturday at 2 o'clock, you will get the Zoom link. We're in a Zoom world. You'll get the Zoom link next week you'll get the Zoom link very shortly for our webinar next week. That is an education-based webinar, and it is called Avoiding the COVID Slide. We want our young people, our students, to come out of this pandemic stronger, feeling more supported, up by NAACP and community. This webinar will feature the National Education Director, Attorney Victor Good. Many of us know him, and we've already been taught and guided by him in this work that we do. So I'm excited to hear from him on this conference. It will also feature our State Education Chair, Dr. Joyce Brooks, and it will feature young people who will come to us with their gifts and talents. Parents who will come to us with their questions about how they can ensure that their students do well in this environment and continue to do well. It's really just a back to school, stay in school event. We know very well that around Juneteenth, it's almost Juneteenth, that we typically do a back to school, stay in school event in person, where we might distribute books for summer reading and etc. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to figure out ways in which we can do that. But we're going to have this Preventing the COVID Slide webinar. Your secretary will receive the information, so be looking out for it, Branch Secretary Mangrum. And please join us. Please join us with your ideas and with your encouragement for young people. I always want to say, when we vote, we win. And we know that we're in the midst of our primary election, and we would do nothing except vote and ensure that our family members, our community members, and our friends do so as well. We're so fortunate to have vote by mail for such a long time in Colorado. I think the whole country should move in this direction. We modernize, the NAACP work to modernize voting practices in Colorado along with other partners, and who knew we'd be preparing to continue to lift our voices through voting at such a time as this. So when we vote, we win, and we'll hear more, I hope, on this call about the census, but we know when we complete our census forms, we win. I want to let you know that the state conference has continued to lift up safe COVID-19 practices and COVID-19 protection, as some of us have been out in community, lifting our voices through protests, facial protection, physical and social distancing, and other safe practices are still the order of the day. The state conference has contributed, donated, gifted more than 250 facial covers and bottles of alcohol-free hand sanitizer to prison facilities, to youth shelters, to other nonprofits. On this weekend, today in Greeley, where we have a new organizing committee, our facial protections will be there for the Black Lives Matter March that's happening this evening, as well as tomorrow. The facial protections will be used in Colorado Springs at the LGBT Black Lives Matter March. Our national office continues to tell us to meet virtually, to have safe practices, and to ready ourselves for the time that we'll come back together to meet in person. So I hope we'll continue to do just that. Thank you for continuing to do the work, and thank you, Madam President, for continuing your leadership for such a time as this. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Madam President, for those words. you know, a lot of the things that you mentioned, the Pueblo branch is on the forefront in our community doing those same things. So I do want to thank you for your leadership and your direction. You don't know how much you are help to our organization down here, our branch down here. So thank you again. We'll go on and go back. We stopped at our finance, and I did want to mention in the finance that the city of Pueblo has sent us an application to preparing for their 2021 budget. So we will be submitting our fund request through the city by June the 30th. So I did want to make sure that I did acknowledge that. The next committee is our legal redress. Is anyone here from our legal redress? Mr. English? If
This
not,
is I haven't seen Mr. English join the call. Let's do a quick see if Mr. English is on the line here. Has Mr. English joined us today? Okay, I think he's not. I think he has not joined us on the call. But
okay.
if I may, maybe acknowledge if there's anyone seeking to discuss legal redress, I can take your information after the meeting and get you in touch with some information. And also, if you're able, if you're using the Zoom software and you can text, type in the chat, please do so. But if you're on the phone, just know that. And actually, I think I can show you. I'm going to show just for the people watching now and people watching in the future, because this comes up a lot. If we go to Pueblo NAACP.net, again, Pueblo NAACP.net, click on committees, and then there's another link a small link. It says list our committees, and you can click on the link for legal redress. Talks about our legal redress program, how to use our legal redress program. Long story short, if a person has sought all their grievance options on an issue and need our help, then they would fill out a form. They can either print the form, or we would suggest they use the online form that we set up. It's very easy. You just enter some information, put your information in writing, and then it'll automatically email to Mr. English and our office. And that way, Mr. English can get in touch with you. So that's very important. That's the best way to follow a legal redress program. Just wanted to mention that since we have so many people on the call, and show that for future reference.
And just following up with Alan, we did have 3 calls last month. Most of them were dealing with just opinions of people that did not necessarily address their issues like they wanted them to. So, and we on the website, it lets you know the issues that we as a unit will address. For personal issues, and a lot of times we get a lot of those where they want us to intervene when they could just go to the people and talk it out and resolve their issues. For instance, we had someone that called in that had a complaint about how KKTV covered a story. And we understand that sometimes they don't cover the story the way we want them to cover it. But it doesn't negate that we can always call in and let them know that the story wasn't covered the way we thought it should have been, and that they didn't address, or not address, but contend to our feelings and how it may have affected us. But those kind of issues can be done by the individual. But if we feel like it's something that the branch should follow up on, we do follow up on those calls. Okay. The next committee is our membership committee. Is Mr. Hilton on the line? Willie Hinton. Is Willie Hinton on the line? Okay. He's not on the line either. Okay. Okay. Well, we will be, I'll go on and talk about the rally. We have,
Madam Chair,
in the new, yes.
real quickly regarding membership, we just want to thank, we just got our brand new shiny cards with our names on them. And thank you.
Ah,
After 2 years.
Oh. Oh, that's
another
wonderful. Someone else mentioned to me that they received their card from the Nationals also.
Yeah, I just want to let you
And
know that they're really nice and our names are spelled correct.
Yeah, it's not Taverneau
And your
anymore.
name?
Taverneau.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad everyone's getting their cards.
Yeah.
And again, and during this pandemic, it may have shortened or disturbed some of the getting the cards out, delayed the cards. I'm sorry, that's the word I was trying to find. But like I said, back in February, my card came within 2 months, so I was so excited. And with the new design, it gives you, energizes you to want to do more. So I'm glad that those cards are coming out. With that,
Madam
Yes.
President,
yes,
thank you so much for acknowledging me again. I want to say that we have received several, a stack of cards. Some of them are for Pueblo. I will get with you or probably maybe the secretary to get the addresses of those who, for whatever reason, they have sent me their card, but they're for the Pueblo branch. So I will get the information and I will either get them out or send them to the secretary. The national office did have a delay in the memberships because of course, the coronavirus pandemic. But now they are obviously ready to send out the cards. So we should send them even more memberships now. We can move up to life membership or buy memberships for other family members, some maybe who just need to come into the civil rights movement, and we can help push them along by purchasing a membership for them or for our children or for our grandchildren. I think that that's one of the best ways to increase the power and the visibility of our branches. So we can start flooding national office now, according to President Johnson, with memberships. Let's show them that we know how to do that in Colorado by upping our membership commitment. And if I can just have one more moment, I really appreciate all of the state leaders who take time out to, especially in this moment, be on Zoom conference calls with me as state president, who are listening so that they can move to action and assist our units. And one of those is on this call. So I just want to thank our state treasurer, Linda Lameau, who is on the call today, who has been on probably more Zoom calls than she ever wanted to be on, but who has moved up to leadership in our other units by virtue of this technology. So make sure that you use the resources, all of them that are available. Thank you so much, Madam Treasurer, for always supporting NAACP at every level.
yes, I want to thank Linda also. She's another person I can go to for anything that I need. So I appreciate you being on our call this afternoon. The next thing, okay, membership. I don't know if Madam President was on, but when we mentioned that we, as a unit, have set aside for 50 free one-year memberships for our youth and college memberships. And we have, as I said before, we are reaching out to our young. We've been talking about this for a while, and we find it at this time that this is the moment and the movement to reach our young people, and where they will
Absolutely.
respond positively to our request. We know that the youth are our future, and we have to reach out to them, even when they think that our suggestions or the way we think may be antiquated, but we can work together to move forward in the fight of equal social justice and equality. So
Absolutely.
we're hoping to be able to give those 50 scholarships out, those memberships out fairly soon.
Madam
So,
President, should you get to more than 50 and you have a need for purchasing youth and college memberships, the state conference is always ready to assist in that. We would love to have as many youth and college members as possible in Pueblo and to include them at every level of our work. So let us know should the need arise. And let me also recognize our state Economic Justice Chair, Frank Lytle, who just joined this call. And I really appreciate you for that, Brother Lytle, my honey, for always supporting all of our units, no matter where they are.
thank you. Yes, we will be reaching out to you, Madam Secretary. We'll be reaching out to the state conference to give us assistance in moving forward with that, the youth, the college branches, units. Okay, let's go on. Oh, with the membership, we will also, once our rally has been approved, we will have membership opportunities at the rally for the unit. So, the NAACP per se. We're also expected to have shirts available. That's what Miss First Vice President Helen Wiley wanted me to mention that. I forgot. We have shirts available for sale for $12. And if anybody's interested, it will be, the format is a black shirt with NAACP on the front in white, block letters. And on the back, it will say hashtag Black Lives Matter. And that's the where we're at right now. And we wanted to just show solidarity and unity in wearing shirts alike, so people will be able to recognize that we are part of the NAACP and what we stand for. So if you're interested in a shirt, you can get with me after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
This is Alan. I wanted to chime in real quick and share another resource for those listening, watching, because we get a lot of requests for, hey, can I join or can I renew and can I pay with a credit card? And I just wanted to go over a brief procedure how that works. If you want to be a new member and you want to join with a credit card, go to naacp.org, click on the join, take you to a page that says new membership, become a member, click there. It'll bring up a screen and there's a little box on the right that will give you the ability to look up your zip code. You type in your zip code and then it'll show all the available branches. And as you can see, Pueblo branch is right here, 4005-B, that means branch. And there's our mailing address. You select that. That is how you can apply for a new membership and pay with a credit card. If you're going to renew your membership, this is just also important. If you want to renew your membership, then go same page, scroll down. It talks about membership types, gifting, renewing, or upgrading. That is where you click to renew. Once you click that, same process. You look up your zip code, you enter it in, and you select the Pueblo branch. So that's very important, very good to know just in case you prefer to pay by credit card. If you prefer to pay by check or cash, you can always get in touch with us locally here as well. So just wanted to chime in there because we got a lot of questions on that as well in the recent past.
Yes, we have gotten a lot of questions on that since we've been in this pandemic and this world of protest. So the branch, the local branch is also in the process of researching and seeing how we can make it more available to use your debit card or your credit card through us rather than going through the process of going online. But so that is something that we are working towards fulfilling. The next thing, I know Miss Marty Poole is on the line. Thank you, Sister Poole, for political action. She's on the line. I'm going to let her say something about her committee.
Well, just reminding you, everybody, I know you all should have your ballots by now that were mailed on June the 8th. And you need to make sure that you either mail those in, and if you mail them in, you have to have 2 stamps because it has to be 71 cents, not 1 stamp. Or drop it off. And if you want to know the drop-off locations, you could call the election office, and the number for the election office is 583-6620, and they'll give you that information. And then also making sure that you fill out your census ballots and get those all in too. So I think that's basically all I have for political action.
This is Alan. I also wanted to acknowledge, pardon me, Madam President. This is Alan. I wanted to acknowledge, it appears that Florence Sun has called in, possibly with Iverstein White, who is also the co-chair of political action. Ms. Florence Sun, are you on the call there?
Yes.
All right. Is Ms. Iverstein White with you as well?
Yes.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Did you have anything you'd like to share on behalf of political action?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us nonetheless.
And as Sister Poole was saying, voting is very, very, very important. If we won't change, we have to vote. And there's no excuse for Colorado anyway. And I'm with the state president. I think mail-in ballots are the thing that the whole nation should be using. Every state should be using. But I wanted to, I have the president of the League of Women Voters of Pueblo on the line, and I wanted Miss Ruth to address the meeting as far as possibly having registration, voters registration available at our rally.
Yes, that's possible. I have been in touch with our new voter service chairman. His name is Scott Ross. And between he and I, we will have a table there and man it and get anybody registered who wants to. Speaking of vote by mail, our league is preparing a video. It's in production right now, and I hope it actually gets out of production at some point and out to the public. But it's about how easy it is to vote by mail in Colorado. And we would offer that, we are offering it to whoever would like to see it for free. And so you guys would, the NAACP would be welcome to see it and share it however you think best to get people to vote. We're going to share it through league circles. But the more the merrier, we think.
Okay, I agree with that. And while we're on voting, we want to ensure that the census, that everyone participates in the census. The census is very, very important. Our contact down here, the person I've been in communication with is Renee Martinez, but I believe we have Lee Ann on the line that could tell us more about the census, 2020 census, and the importance of that. Is Lee Ann available?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. And
thank you.
Thank you for allowing me just a couple of minutes today. I do work with Renee Martinez. She's also a partnership specialist. And so I'm glad that you all have been connected. I also want to thank all of you that have mentioned the census and the importance of it. There's so much on all of our plates right now, and our attention is being required in so many different areas. And so thank you for not overlooking this. I will give you just a couple of updates. I was looking at the numbers for Pueblo, excuse me, just before this call. Pueblo's response rate or self-response rate is at 60.9%. Pueblo County's is at 61.1%. To put that in context, the United States is just over or at 60.9%. Colorado is at 63.4%. And so the response rates in Pueblo are strong. But what I've also seen, as I've seen in Colorado Springs, as I've seen in Denver and Aurora and throughout the state of Colorado, we still have pockets that are not responding at that same rate. And unfortunately, those pockets tend to be in communities of color, in senior communities, in communities where English is not a first language, in communities where internet access might be a challenge, in our tribal areas, and in communities that have felt, excuse me, unconnected in some way. And so what I would encourage us to do is to continue to reach out. The dates for the census, as most of you probably know, have been extended. So self-response and follow-up response will go all the way until October 31st of this year. We will, however, start to knock on doors in the communities in the middle of August. And with everything that is going on, that's a challenge. Anything that we can do to have someone not come to the door, a stranger come to the door, particularly in communities that might be on edge or feeling disenfranchised, that's better for all of us. And the way, it's not a guarantee, but the way to avoid that from the census is to have people self-respond. The final thing that I will say is that this week we're having awareness activities throughout the state of Colorado. And one, I'm asking everyone to focus on, we're calling it 24 in 24 on Tuesday. And what that simply means is we're asking everyone to reach out to 24 people within that 24-hour period and ask them to respond to the census either by phone, online, or if they still have their paper questionnaire. And while many of us have shared the census message to our coworkers and you know our larger organizations, the purpose of this day is to have us really reach out to those closest to us. So, you know, our cousins and our moms and our sisters and our brothers and our aunties and our family members that maybe have forgotten, that maybe don't realize. These are the people that don't get an email blast. These are the people that we're asking you to send a quick text to or pick up the phone and just ask them the question very quickly. So for every one of us on this call, if we do that, we will see the numbers continue to rise throughout the state of Colorado. I will put my contact information in the chat, and if I can support you and Renee in any way, I'm happy to do so. Thank you for giving me this time.
Thank you, Ms. Leanne. And can you touch on the reasoning why it's so important that where the money is distributed based off of the numbers that they receive?
Absolutely. So first of all, in this election year, please be reminded that the information that's gathered from the census will impact representation. It will impact the number of seats that Colorado has in Congress moving forward. There are those that believe that that number will go up. And so it is, as always, and even more so now with COVID and with the things happening in the community, it's absolutely critical that we all have a voice. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is there are dollars that are at stake at the federal level. There will be over $675 billion distributed throughout the nation based on the census information. And that is just for 1 year. In Colorado, that number is over $13 billion. And again, that number is just for 1 year. Multiply that for the next 10 years because we won't gather the information again in this way until the year 2030. And this impacts things that impact all of us at some level. So things like transportation and, educational programs and parks and playgrounds. But when you think of COVID and when you think of the inequities that have surfaced for some and been a reminder for others, the gap in education, the needs in healthcare, things like SNAP and TANF and Medicare and Medicaid and support for our seniors and Pell Grant dollars, the free and reduced lunch programs. For some of our students who have not been in a school building for many, many months, some of the only meals that some of them are getting are the grab and goes that our schools are providing. Those are impacted by the information that we gather from the census. And when I said earlier, it's even more important now than ever, it absolutely is. That, along with other things that President Lytle has mentioned, are absolutely critical that we make sure to participate in as we move forward.
Thank you so much. Okay. Next we have, we'll skip strategic planning unless, Alan, do you have anything?
I don't have any updates about strategic planning, but I did want to take this moment to acknowledge some members who have joined us in the call who are also chairs. Mr. Frederick Mangrum joined us on the call a little while ago. He's the treasurer, and I just wanted to thank Mr. Treasurer for emailing us the financial report. President Mack was able to read that in the beginning of this meeting, so I just wanted to acknowledge and thank you, Mr. Mangum, for sharing that ahead of time. And Mr. Mangum, did you have any else that you wanted to share on behalf of the Treasury?
No, not at this time.
No.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay. Our new business, again, T-shirts. Let me know about the T-shirts. The NAACP has launched #WeAreDoneDying campaign. And this is something, this is to highlight or to bring awareness to the systemic racism that African Americans endure on a daily basis. So right now, as it was said by even Leanne, the dollars that we need to correct some of the issues in our marginalized communities, even as we discussed our education, we are concerned with those folks that are in those communities not getting the quality education or the equal education as others. Law enforcement, as we talk with the law enforcement, we indicated that we know that different neighborhoods are policed differently, and we have to address that. But the campaign "We Are Done Dying" addresses those issues. The climate, environmental justice. People don't think about that, but they, when they want to put these coal places, they go to the marginalized people's neighborhoods. It's not put in the upper class neighborhoods, those that have more resources. Economic opportunities, the wealth divide. I know Mr. Lytle could talk about that. We even we had concerns on the payday loans at this time and how that affects the marginalized communities. So the national office has set this "We Are Done Dying" campaign for us all to advocate for these in these areas in our local community. And as we do it in our local community, it will compound to our state and then to the nation. So President has advocated for the We Are Done Dying campaign. Also, we have, well, last week I was honored to participate in a law enforcement forum that was organized by Together Colorado and our faith leaders, where we addressed Chief Davenport, our police chief, and our sheriff with some questions. And as President Lytle brought up, I asked them about if they would be open to a independent monitoring committee, the Civilian Review Committee. The answer, neither one were too positive on a civilian review committee. They just felt like civilians did not have the expertise that was needed to be able to review certain issues that come up. But they're open to talk. So we, the NAACP Pueblo branch, will be having a conversation with our law enforcement this coming Thursday. Because of the pandemic, we can only have 10 people involved, but we will have the chief of police, the sheriff, and the DA. And if there's any questions or concerns that anyone may have, please email those to me or to the NAACP website, the email rather, and I can get them and take them to have our law enforcement address those issues. We are hoping to have that broadcast on the government channel 17, where the city council and the mayor broadcast their meetings and their communication, so that the community will be able to be in on the conversation. And lastly, let's see, I have one. Is there anybody else that has any questions or any concerns or any announcements? I know we were talking to Mr. Holmes earlier before the meeting started about food distribution. If Mr. Holmes is available to just give us some brief information on that, I would like for him to do that at this time.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. This is Mark Holmes. We have the food distribution at 2631 East 4th Street. And if you go online, you can find a chart that tells you the days that the distribution is open. We have to box about 5,000 boxes of food a month. So we have to close, so we can deliver food in county trucks to the high-rise senior homes once a month. But anyone that would like to volunteer could call the Department of Human Services at 2631 East 4th Street and offer your assistance. I was telling earlier that Tanya Gurley has had a hernia surgery yesterday, and the only other person there that can run the forklift, Rich Romero, has had working with a broken hip, but he fell yesterday and shattered it completely. So he's in Parkview. If anyone would like to assist us, one person, one employee, that Michelle will be trying to handle a tremendous burden for this food distribution, especially coming up in the next weeks. If anyone would like to volunteer, I certainly would appreciate it. You call and talk to Michelle, And tell her I asked you to call and see if you can't get lined up to give us some assistance. The amount of labor is intense. The lifting can be really tough, but also we have people that can help in other ways in this large distribution we have. We also distribute the care and share food while we're distributing the TFAF program and the Colorado Supplemental Food Program. So it's quite intense. It takes a lot of volunteers to box 5,000 boxes of food every month. But I would appreciate your assistance.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Holmes, for that. And I know that there's a lot of churches also distributing food. So I'm not sure. I don't have the information in front of me, but we will put that on our website also. Lastly, I think, does anyone have anything that they would like to share?
This is Alan. Madam President, how about I will moderate that because I've got 3 questions ahead of us here. Let me just take care of that. I think I had a question from Dr. Margaret Wright. She asked about how do we get lifetime memberships? I'll just field that question. So it is possible to either, if you want to pay by a credit card for lifetime membership, again, we can direct you to the national website, naacp.org. If you want to pay directly to the branch, you could talk with. We can get you in touch with our membership chair, or we can talk to you directly about getting that. We'll try to address that later about how do we go about that. But you can learn about the tiers of membership on the website as well for everyone. The next question was Sol Tafoya. She had a question. Do you want to go ahead, Ms. Tafoya?
Yes, thank you. So my question is pertaining to the forum that's coming up. Will the forum offer an interpreter so that impacted Spanish speakers are able to access the conversation?
We will. I had not really thought about that, but yes, we will try to have an interpreter. Do you have someone in mind, Sister Tafoya, that we might be able to contact?
Well, I can share with you that Together Colorado does have some interpreters that we continuously work with. If you would like, I feel that we can try to possibly get a local one to participate. But if we're not able to, I'm happy to share with you the contacts that Together Colorado utilizes for events and such.
Okay. Well, I will be in contact with you maybe after this meeting or whenever you're available. You have my I have your contact information. I'll give you a call.
I'll make sure to get you in touch with each other for sure. Thank you so much, Ms. Tafoya. That's very, very meaningful. Thank you for that. I have another question here. Reverend Larry Brown asked, he had an idea. Is it possible to provide a census registration table or census information table at the Justice Rally on Juneteenth? I believe so.
So this is Leanne, and yes, I think that sounds absolutely possible. If someone could just type in the chat the details of the rally, I'll work with Renee Martinez and figure out availability, materials, all of that kind of thing, and see what we're able to do. We certainly can be there to provide information. We may also be able to support registration on the spot. And then as a reminder, everyone can fill out the census from their phones. So that is something that we've had a lot of success with, and still being able to maintain social distancing is to be at an event, provide materials, and then ask people, you know, from the 6 feet distance with masks to go ahead and complete. But we absolutely would be interested if someone could just share the details. Thank you.
Okay.
And
in reference.
Go ahead.
Oh, you have another question?
We
No,
still
go
have.
ahead, Alan.
Sorry, we still have. We're still getting the final details cleared up, but it would be, I just posted our email address. It's NAACP 4005 as in our branch number, NAACP 4005 as in 4005, the number, at gmail.com. We've been using that for communications. If we don't have your contact information, please do just send an email to that, or you can call our number and leave a voicemail, and we'll make sure to make sure we connect that information with you, any follow-up information we're developing.
I'd
Thank
be
you, ma'am.
happy to do that. Do you know the date of the event, even if you don't have all the details?
We plan on doing it Friday, this coming Friday, June 19th, which is Juneteenth, in the afternoon at around 1 p.m.
Okay, that helps a lot. Thank you. And then I will go ahead and send you an email, and I'll copy Renee Martinez as well.
Okay.
Thank
and
you.
then,
Okay.
and I think,
Just
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
just to piggyback off of the Justice Rally, we are proceeding as if we are able to have it. We had to apply through our national office to get permission to get approval to have that Justice Rally. The tentative date is June 19th, if we can get that approval. The time would be 11:30 to 2. 11:30 to 2. We were told that we could not have it at the judicial. We were informed that we could not have it at the judicial building by the chief judge. And as I talked with the mayor and the chairman of the county commissioners, they indicated that because I kind of asked them if they could call the judge and ask her to let her know that what this event was about. But in the interim, we have decided to move that to our park, the Mineral Palace Park, where we would address the spacing. We would have trees, so we would address the hot sun beating down on people, as well as people who may want to come and stay for the entire event. They can bring their chairs and things of that sort. So with this rally, we would have speakers, and then we reached out to young people, people of different segments of Pueblo to speak. We have music. We have poetry. This is a coming together of the community to let everyone know that we are together. We do understand and recognize the issues that we are facing, and we want to work together to resolve those issues and solutions, bringing all of our minds and together to address those. So again, as we will get more final information out to everyone. I know the mayor put out on his broadcast yesterday that we would be having it at the Judicial Center. So we do have the newspaper put the wrong date out. So we do have some cleaning up to do, but we will move forward with the Justice Rally. Even if we have to postpone it, we will have that rally. And I do want to thank those partners, organizations that are going in with us on this, and that's Juneteenth organization, the Human Relations Commission, the League of Women Voters, Pueblo, the Together Colorado, the Southern Colorado Women's March. We have so many people, so many organizations that wanted to work together in putting this on. And like, I just want to say, this is not just for right now. This is a movement that we have to continue working towards. All of these organizations, everybody's coming to us wanting to do things right now, but this is a continuous thing. It's not going to be resolved overnight with one rally, but we have to work at ensuring that the racism is defeated, and that everyone has the right to equality and social justice in every arena, that that everybody should be able to fulfill their dreams. So we're saying that we're in this for the long haul and not just for today.
Amen.
And the last announcement I have, I did get the Southern Colorado Youth Development, Life Work, and the Kingdom Builders are partnering together to host a Unity in Our Community Fun Day for the young people. It's going to be July 17th from 12 to 6, and Anita Kaufer is the contact person. So if you're interested in that, there's going to be food, entertainment, fun things for the youth. So again, I think that's all I have. Is there any other announcements or anything that I forgot to bring up?
This is Alan. One thing
Yeah.
we can't forget to do is get the resolution read that's in support of our rally. Madam President, may I bring that up on the screen and
Yes, you may, because I don't.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read it out loud. This is a resolution that President Roxana Mack developed, and so I organized it to be a resolution. So I'm just gonna read it out loud, and then we'll introduce it as a motion. Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Alan.
All right. So this is whereas we see the killing of Mr. George Floyd as the final straw, and we find ourselves at this time demanding immediate change. Whereas our communities are angry, frustrated, filled with mistrust, and tired, including in Pueblo. Whereas the NAACP nationwide advocates for justice, supports peaceful protest, expects vigilance, and we will persistently demand civil rights for all. Whereas the NAACP Pueblo branch stands in solidarity with the protesters of the systemic racism plaguing America. Furthermore, we applaud our young people for their energized actions and to seek to work together with them to effect change. Whereas we are confident that the justice we seek is achievable, we seek to be heard, to be understood, to be respected, to be treated as equal, to end injustices for people of color who endure daily and advocate what's best for us. Whereas we advocate for justice, we must understand that it starts in our own community. We are not naive to believe that we do not have issues to address right here in Pueblo. And whereas the hard issue concerning peace officer shootings resulting in death here in Pueblo shall be addressed, whereas the NAACP Pueblo branch has reached out to our law enforcement community to have a conversation about policing, a focus on policy and procedures, and to ensure that racism does not drive it. Be it resolved, we intend to sponsor a justice rally in collaboration with our fellow community organizations and interested individuals who seek necessary change through non-violent resistance. Furthermore, those who join us, we will invite them to become a member of NAACP Pueblo and to demand racial equality and social justice. And importantly, we shall ask fellow citizens of Pueblo to exercise their right to vote. Submitted to the NAACP Pueblo branch this day, June 13th, 2020, by Roxana Mack, President. May I entertain a motion to adopt this resolution?
This is Eric, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Yeah, you do.
Second.
All right, Kath, that's Eric Javino motioned to approve, seconded by Kathy Javino. May I do a roll call? I'm just going to do a roll call since we have so many people, and I recognize these members. I'm just going to state your name and just say aye or nay, okay? Alan Lamberg, aye. Frederick Mangrum?
Aye.
Ivestine White?
Aye.
Patricia O'Brien?
Aye.
Roxana Mack?
Aye.
Let's see. Reverend Larry Brown?
Aye.
Ruth Nierenberg?
Aye.
Dr. Margaret Wright?
Aye.
let's see. Marty Poole. Whoop.
Aye.
Okay. Robert Jones. Robert Jones.
Aye.
Sol Tafoya. I think you remember, right? Torrance. Yeah, sorry. Did I miss anyone? I see Torrance Neal's on the call. Would you like to vote as well? It sounds like
Steve Mack.
Mark Holmes. Aye.
okay. Okay, Mark Holmes.
Aye.
All right. And did I miss anyone else who's a member of the branch?
Venice
Steve
Gallegos.
Mack.
Okay.
Okay.
Venice.
Aye.
Did I miss anyone else?
Torrance Neal, aye.
Oh, very good. Anyone else?
Keith Wilhite, aye.
Keith Wilhite. Excellent. Anyone else?
Eric and Kathy vote aye.
Great. I believe the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. Okay. All right.
Please ensure that Steve Mack, Reverend Steve Mack, said aye also.
Oh, excellent. Oh, he was on the call as well. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking.
Sister Max.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. This is Marty Poole. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, Marty.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I want concerning the rally. Commissioner Garrison Ortiz was going to try to be at the meeting, and I guess he wasn't able to be here. But he did give me the information that I gave you, that anything that we need for the rally in terms of speakers, anything, please get in touch with him, and he'll make sure that it happens.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
make sure that you keep that in mind. He's there. He's ready to assist us in any way that we can. Commissioner Garrison Ortiz.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
this is Alan. There was one more question. Miss Venice had a question. So you said, can we purchase the T-shirts before the rally? And if so, what's the easiest way to do so?
Yes. Just get with me. Give me a call. Well, let's see.
Okay.
Give me a call. My number.
Okay, I'll make sure to
Everybody
connect.
knows my number.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
I think I have
Connect
your
me with
contact.
her.
I'll make sure to connect
Anybody
each
that
other.
wants a T-shirt, please let me know, and we can have them for the rally. Yeah.
And again, if you
all
email
of
us,
our-
that'd be the easiest way to connect you. Okay.
And the T-shirts are $12.
Okay. And also, Miss Reverend Brown said that Roxana Mack had an update about Pop Warner Football League support.
Oh, yes. Reverend Brown sent a request, and I'm going to let him address that. I told him that he could address it with the membership. So, Pastor Brown, you want to do that right now? And then after that, we will adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that opportunity.
Hey, Alan, I have a question.
Oh, well, actually, Miss Kathy, right after Larry Brown, then we'll get to you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Alan, if you can you go to Pueblo Dream Chasers? I think you're online, is that correct?
Yes.
You just take control. So let me just tell you a little bit about the Pueblo Dream Chasers. It's a Pop Warner Little League football team. We have a lot of, in which our main goal is to build character, not only that, integrity in our kids that we take in and teach them the fundamentals of football. Last year was our first year, and matter of fact, we won the championship last year. We did Pueblo pretty proud. And so a lot of our single mothers that are part of our football team, needless to say, with this pandemic and everything else that's taken place, it's been very tough in terms of meeting initiation fees and some of the things that needs to take place, because not only do we provide all the uniforms for the kids, we provide all their traveling, their food, everything that they need to be a part of this team. And so we were just requesting from a lot of the organizations out there, if there's any way possible that you're able to support our organization in Pueblo, we would very truly appreciate it. So some of the pictures that you can see that's up on your screen is some of our kids. We're very proud of these kids, not only from a football standpoint and academics, but it's also their academics and stuff. We are extremely proud. As you know, that's one of the things that we really push hard on these kids. So if the kids is not doing well at home, one of the things we do is we, as us coaches and stuff, we really push them hard to be the best that they can be. So again, we want to thank you for the opportunity. We do meet right now Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 o'clock. If you know any kids out there that want to get involved in a nice tackle football league, a great league, Pop Warner, just let us know. Ages is from 6 to, I think it's 11, 6 to 12, I believe it is. We have all different sizes. So we want to thank you. And if there's any way the organization can support, we appreciate it. Thank you.
I see the email address is pueblodreamchasers@gmail.com. Again, that's pueblodreamchasers@gmail.com. And the phone number is 719-252-4336, 252-4336. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Brown. Madam President, did you have anything else you'd like to add? And again, you can also, everyone can contact us at NAACP4005@gmail.com. We'll make sure to, and if I don't have your email address already, I will make sure to, please make sure to send your email address, and I will definitely get you the contact information on our, regarding the rally. That is one of the most important things everyone's asking about.
Okay. And the last thing, very quickly, we discussed with Dr. Margaret Wright in reference to her organization, Collaborative Educational Supportive Services. Dr. Wright, can you briefly, very briefly, share what you shared with us, the executive committee, in reference to your goals in the community as far as the reading and the math and the centers that you are hoping to place in the different communities?
Yes, thank you very much. My husband and I were well aware that the services I was offering through my business, advocating for kids, being a consultant, working with the teachers, the parents, the grandparents, kinship parents, that not everybody could afford to pay for those services. So we started another nonprofit, which is Pueblo Empowerment CDC, and
it looks like
I think you went on mute.
No, her internet connection just got froze up. Let me just give her a moment here to see if she. I'll send her a text.
Well, I'll just add that Dr. Wright addressed the executive committee, and their plan was to start reading labs and math labs in communities, marginalized communities, where the kids do not have to come out of their community to get assistance or help with the math skills and the reading skills. We understand that if you can't read, that puts you way behind. And, you know, we know that, like we were saying earlier, that all students are not given the opportunity to learn as they should be able to in the public school system. So they have decided to try to kind of like it's not a tutorial thing, but have educational labs in the different communities. So hopefully we'll be able to discuss that and possibly even invest in that initiative. Okay, and the last thing is Kathy had a
Sorry, Dr. Sorry, President Mack. I just brought up on the screen for anyone who wants to know. drmargaretbwright.com is the website to learn more about that. So,
okay.
and I'll make sure.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Okay. The last thing is Kathy. She had a question or a comment, and then we will have our prayer and adjourn this meeting.
Yeah, I just had a question. I thought I remember an email a day or two ago they mentioned the t-shirts, but did you also mention there were hats available as well? Ellen?
No.
Oh,
Hats?
I think Margaret Mangrum mentioned that she had some hats from a previous order on just in the stock, but
Okay.
they're not newer hats from what I understand.
Oh, so they're older hats?
I believe so.
Okay. And the second question is for the rally, has there been already an online flyer developed so we can share with all the partnering organizations that want to put on their Facebook and websites?
Not yet, but I will definitely. That's a good idea.
I have a flyer completed, but I do not want to put it out until we know exactly if we're going to be able to have it and have the exact information, the correct information placed on it.
I just got a
So
text.
as soon as we get approval, those flyers will be emailed to all of my contacts.
Okay, yeah, because I just got a message right now from the communications director from the Pueblo Dems, and they want to put on their website. Now I'll just let them know that it's pending.
It's coming, hopefully by Tuesday.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
No later than Tuesday. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to thank everyone again for attending our June monthly virtual membership meeting. Hopefully we'll be back to person-to-person meeting in the coming months. Remember to wear your mask. Even with the Justice Rally, we will have our masks on. We are advocating for everyone to wear their mask to stay safe and continue the work that we do. You're important, we're all important, and we can't get this job done unless we all work together. And I thank you again for being on the meeting, on the call this afternoon. Mr. Jones, can you lead us in prayer and we will end this meeting?
Sorry, let me unmute his. Sorry, I think. Oh, here he is.
I'll have Pastor Mac end the meeting.
I got him. I'm sorry, I got him. Right here. He's right here with us. I'm sorry, I had to mute his line because there was some background noise. So, Mr. Jones.
Okay, before I do the prayer, I would like to encourage the people to try to help individuals as well as different organizations that really need our help. So if we could do that, there are so many, but that's what I'd like to encourage you to do. And now the prayer. Almighty God, gracious God, we give you thanks once again. We ask that as we leave this meeting time, that we would be able to do that which would bring about blessings for the peoples. We ask that for your guidance in so doing, and that might be done in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. You want a t-shirt, contact me, ramac1959@yahoo.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you.
Thanks again. We are adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Be well.
Yeah, try to get the right.
Leave it there.
Oh, leave. Okay. I'm so used to the